Hi, I'm Sherry Betcher. I'm the head coach for the Botmasterz High School team, FRC 9255, and we are at Grosse Pointe South High School today. This is our main build space, our only build space. We're in an English class, so it might not really look like a build space, but it is ours and we are grateful to have it. The intent was always to grow our middle school team into a high school team, and we were planning on doing it next year with the 23-24 school year was going to be the intent. But we were at a FTC trailer build outreach event, and we learned about some opportunities that were available this year that we aren't sure are going to be available next year. So this just really felt like the right time for us because we knew we had a lot of financial support. Argosy has been incredibly generous, and lots of other organizations have been so generous with new teams to get started this year. We really felt like we didn't want to pass up the opportunity to have that really strong financial support backing that's being offered this year. Maybe it'll be there next year, I don't know, but we didn't want to miss the opportunity. So that was October 29th, and the deadlines for all of the grants were October 31st. So very quickly that day, that Saturday, I spent a couple of hours on the phone with First in Michigan. They're amazing, super supportive, super helpful. They walked me through the whole process. I spent time with her applying for grants and getting everything done that needed to be done with the grants closing in just 2 days. And that was, that was how we got started. And so I have an 8th grader. My daughter Allie has been part of the team, the middle school team, for a couple of years. So the 8th graders on the FTC team are playing up, and then we have a few of our high school girls that already were on the FTC last year that are already here in the high school. So that's how we started. So we just have 5 girls. Plus we took another one from another FTC team, and another 8th graders playing up. So that's how we got started. So, exciting story, and it really has happened really fast. So that's kind of why we're in an English room, because we only gave the district 2 months to prepare for us to find space for us to build. So they are going to have us in this room this year, but next year they promised us space in the amazing Cotton Innovation Center. So next year we'll be out of the English room and into a more build-friendly space. But right now we're just grateful for the space. Challenges, we'll call them growth opportunities, because I'm trying to really keep a positive focus, because it's been kind of one thing after another. Finding the space was a challenge. Getting the district to approve us to become a team was actually a challenge, because we are an all-girls team, and their policies prohibit any of their clubs from excluding, which is something that we're absolutely in agreement and understanding of, but at the same time we really feel the all-girl team is needed, with girls being so underrepresented in the STEM field. We really want to help to change that. So we are in partnership. We're sponsored by the American Association of University Women, and we're on mission with them. So we're a team that is passionate about changing the gender landscape, as you will, in the STEM field. So we are a team that not only is passionate about building a great robot, but we're also really passionate about helping the community. And outreach is really important to our team. Our girls have really a heart for a lot of different things. Homelessness is one of our really the passions of one of the, a couple of the team members. We are just outside of Detroit, and so when we get off the freeway and we come through Detroit, we see homeless, we see folks kind of hungry on the street and asking for food. That's it's something that we see every single day, and that of course hits our heart. So we want to give back and we want to help that community. So this robotics team gives us an opportunity to amplify our voice and amplify our impact really on those communities. So one of the things we've done is we've partnered with 313 Kindness Project and also a local church, and so we've also partnered with a couple of other robotics teams, because together we're really strong, right? So we have 3 robotics teams coming together. 3175 Night Vision has been with us every step of the way, and our younger team, our FTC team, the Botmasterz, have been with us as well. So far we've done like 400, 500, and maybe 50. There's an exact number, but I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. But roughly 550 with way more to come. So we'll do another 300 next week. Every week we've kind of upped it. Like we started with a low bar, sort of 120, and I'm like, I thought that was a lot. But they're like, we got this, and they timed it, and they did the math. It was like 3.7 seconds per sandwich, and, it's just been amazing. So we bring in the math when we can, but that's one of our passion projects. And then we are also passionate about breast cancer awareness and in helping that cause. So we are going to be doing outreach at a bowling fundraiser next month. We're just excited about that. We're going to do some cool things there. Another thing that we realize is that sometimes this build time can be really pressure and high stress. We've experienced that on the middle school side, and we expected it to be even amplified on the high school side. So we want to make sure that we're taking care of these kids emotionally as well. So I've reached out to a couple of folks that have therapy dogs. And today we were visited by the amazing Eva, who is a 130-pound Great Dane. And she's this sweet, gentle giant. And like, she came in the room and instantly you just start to feel better. You just go, oh, she's so cute. And then on Tuesday, we're having a couple of more therapy dogs. So therapy dogs happen to be at our middle school, Pierce Middle School, and those therapy dogs are going to come visit us as well. So we're excited about that. And then we're also really excited about learning about how women have paved the way. How have they navigated this space in engineering, in STEM careers? So we are really passionate about bringing in women that can tell their story to the girls and really help them see themselves through their eyes. Because that really, we know, research shows that if you can really picture yourself in a path, then you're more likely to follow that path, right? So we know that a lot of the engineer, like a typical engineer sort of look, face, you might think of when you, without even realizing it, your brain's going to probably picture a man. It's just the way it is, right? So when our girls picture an engineer, I want them to picture these strong women that have paved the way and see themselves following in that path. So today we had Krishna Jelinski, who is just this local fantastic mom who is a friend of the team, and her kids are friends with our team members. And she came and she just talked about this amazing work that her company does to build these tanks that protect, countries around the world. And they have this amazing robotic tank that actually goes into the field and takes injured soldiers and brings them to safety. It's just amazing. So it's part looking at what it's like to be a female, but it's also learning about what this amazing world of robotics is possible. And it's just endless. We've done things with there's a group out in California that they are like an equity group. So they just pool a bunch of money together and they fund startups and like hardware is what they're passionate about. There's like a robot that can make pizza in like 6 seconds. Like that blows my mind. There's a robot that is improving fertility, like blowing the numbers off the chart for fertility. Like robots are better at helping women, believe it or not, helping women get pregnant than actual humans are. So I want them to know about all of this stuff, and they're excited. They love it. They're just like hungry to learn more, and you can see their eyes just like expand with the possibility of the future. It's amazing. We're used to challenges with FTC, right? Things there's always going to be bumps in the road. I think the magnitude of the bumps of the road are just bigger with the high school team. Maybe just for us, I don't know. But besides having challenges just getting started as a team and navigating that space and trying to figure out how can we work with our district and coexist so that we're both happy. But then beyond that, it's like ordering parts. We don't know what vendors to use, right? Like there's these lists that come out. We're building the EveryBot. Thank you God for the EveryBot. We're so grateful that there's a plan to follow. because it's going to teach our girls the basics. But so, the videos released, I didn't know. I don't know. We don't know to check, Chief Delphi. We don't know to check, and we have a mentoring team that's helping us, but it's more when we have a question we ask rather than, this kind of path to follow, right? So figuring this stuff out, there's a lot of resources out there, but there's so many resources, like how do you find the right one? So just navigating all of that newness, so parts were out. I think the part list was probably out for a week before we realized it was. So we were a little bit behind on that. And then when we finally ordered parts, then there's some that, of course, everybody's ahead of us now. A lot of people are building this EveryBot, so these vendors are running out of things. And then there's supply chain issues that they're not going to be back in stock. And then we finally get, some stuff here, but there's this crazy weather in Texas. And I mean, who would think that Texas would be shut down because of ice and freezing rain and sleet? But that's what's happening. So we're literally our package at Rev they were out of this one part, and then we had to go back and forth about this one part, and that delayed our order 3 times because they're like, well, what do you want? We're not out of this part. We have this, this, and this. And I'm like, I don't know, right? So I have to go check with another team, help me decide what to do. So we finally get through that, and then that delayed the order and then when the order finally got packaged, and there was a shipping number, I was like, oh God, I'm so happy. Thank you. We're going to have their parts in 2 days. And then I kept checking it, where is it in the country? Where is it in the country? It was just sitting in Texas, not moving. And then it said canceled. I was like, what is happening? So Rev Robotics shut down. FedEx shut down. UPS, the whole state of Texas shut down, right? So our order is still sitting in Texas. It still hasn't been shipped. So at this point, we have a drivetrain. We have our chassis built, right? And that is it. But right now in the background, I don't know if you can hear that background noise, but they are cutting the parts for the superstructure. So we're here for another couple of hours today, and we are hoping to have the superstructure, at least the frame built and on the robot. That's kind of our goal today. This next week is going to be a huge crunch time. Where we'll just be here as much as we can and kind of calling all these different people to come help us too. Because right now it's a 2-person team. My husband and I are the coaches. So we're asking other people who've been graciously coming in to help us. Today we have another FTC team coach from a rookie team that just started. And he's like, yeah, you need help? I'm coming in. I'll help. So it's really great. It's an amazing community. I don't think people even realize what we're having challenges, and I don't mean it I don't want anyone to think we don't have support, because we do. It's just that we don't know what to ask, right? So we're finding things out oh, the parts were out for a while and I didn't know. And then, other teams would be following Chief Delphi, and they're like, okay, so this part is out. This is what you have to do. And we tried this and we tried this. We're not in those communities just yet. We're not we're aware, but we're just not, in them. I don't know how to explain that, but those are just some of the challenges that we've had. Our first competition is going to be at Castech, which I'm so excited about because that's where I went to high school. So I'm excited about going back there. And that will be March 16, 17, I think 18. It might be 15, 16, 17, 16, 17, 18. We'll be at Castech. That'll be our first competition. We're really excited because there's going to be 2 other female teams there. We've already scoped the list. So the Pink Panthers, we're going to come and meet you. We're excited. And the Saddlebots out of Regina, we're excited to meet them as well. So we're going to be in really good company with, and everyone else I know is going to, who else is going to be there? The Engineers. Engineers helped us because we did a workshop at Kettering the day after kickoff. We went from kickoff at Lawrence Tech University, which was thrilling. The next day, we went to Kettering, where the engineers helped us build this chassis and helped us wire the robot and get us the framework down. So they'll be there as well, and I'm super excited to see them. So that'll be our first one, and then our second one is at the end of the month at Macomb Community College, last week of March. So it seems like that's far away, but it's really not. We know that we have to have this robot built. I'm putting a deadline of February 14th love is in the air. We're going to be together on Valentine's Day, finishing this robot that day. That is the goal. Team-wise, in terms of like the robot, we want to build a robot that is competitive. We want to build a competitive robot that we can go out there on the field and feel confident that it is going to be a good alliance partner to our partners and will be an asset and not detract from their success. So we are always thinking about impact, right? And so that's one of the impacts. We know that our robot is, eventually is going to be teamed up with other robots, and we want to make sure we're good alliance partners, as good a robot as we can possibly build. That's what we want to do. We would love to place, we'd love to go to state competitions. That would be more of a stretch goal. I wouldn't call that like a goal, but it would definitely be a stretch. That'd be a dream, right? To have that amazing success our first time out. And I don't want to sound like we're lowering the bar, but we're cognizant of the fact that we're a rookie team. We have 5 girls. We are working in an English room. We are just getting, tools. Sometimes we're getting the tools as we need them. Today we needed a step drill bit that we didn't have, so it's running out to the hardware store, right? So I'm not setting limits on us, but at the same time we have to realize that we're working within our capabilities, right? So that's one. But I think almost more important to us as a team is having this impact on our community. So the outreach that we're doing is really critically important to us. So we're going to be like March is Reading Month. We've already booked 2 elementary schools where our girls are going to go and read these amazing books about little girls, focusing on careers in engineering. So they're gonna read, these girls are gonna read these stories to these young girls and young boys, and start to like change the face of what an engineer looks like. Really passionate about that. And then we're also going to do some library outreach. We're going to be at 2 libraries on March 4th. We're excited about that. And that exposes the whole community to, the world of robotics and what girls can do, and that we can't put limits on yourself. And we're teaming up with our middle school as well. So it'll be 2 teams at these 2 libraries. And we're excited about that. So really amplifying our voice and helping to spread the word about how, women belong in STEM too. It's really that simple. And that's, I think, almost as important as building a really good functioning robot that's going to be a good alliance partner. Those 2, I think, are actually tied. Some other girls in the team might say robot over outreach and outreach over robot, but I would say they're sort of level. I would love to lift up our sponsor, who is the American Association of University Women, the AAUW, and they're really passionate about closing gender equity gaps across all spaces, and one of their focuses is STEM. And so they're really why we're here. They actually this AAUW went to the local schools a couple years ago, and they said, we'd really like to sponsor an all-girls robotics team. And if they didn't do that, we wouldn't be here. I had no idea robotics even existed. None of us did. We know we have a local team, but we've just not been involved with it. So quite honestly, we owe everything to the AAUW, and I'm so grateful that they had the idea, they had the passion, they had the, bravery to just go places where no one has gone before. And so without them, we wouldn't be here, and we are so deeply grateful to the AAUW and all of the work that team does here in the Grosse Pointe area, but also across the country. It is a nationwide organization of women who are just passionate about making things equal.